Hey yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Jesse coming to you today with another video. Hope everyone is doing well. It's a beautiful day out today. A little cloudy, but not raining, which is good for me, good for my exercising. Today, I would like to talk about what life is like in the small province of the Philippines. I know many of you who want to come to the Philippines. When you think of the Philippines, you think of places like Manila and Boracay, and they're nice. Those places are nice, but there's also really nice places to go in the Philippines to visit or live in that are province. So let's get into it. First and foremost, I can't say that what I'm talking about is true for every province, but it's true for the province that I live in. One of the best things about living in the province in the Philippines is a much slower pace. As many of you know, I come from the USA, and the USA, most places in the USA, even smaller places, tend to be very quick pace. We're always in the mood. We're always busy, that kind of stuff. And that's just the culture in America. It's just how people are. It's something I had to get used to when I came here. I'm still getting used to it. I still have not got used to it. Remember, I was also in the military, so this is very important. This thing they call Filipino time. Filipino time is basically at least 15 minutes later than the stated time of what should be your arrival. My fiance is so bad for this. It drives me absolutely insane. I don't like to be 1 minute late. I don't even like to be on time. I am the kind of person who likes to be at least 15 minutes early. Again, USA, and I was in the military. So you always had to be early in the military. That was driven into my mind quite extensively. But in the province life, things are a lot different here in the Philippines. People tend to be more relaxed about time and getting things done. They're not in a rush and not constantly trying to do something. They have a much more relaxed and peaceful way of living. That, at first, that was very stressful for me, but it's something that I've grown to admire about Filipino people because it takes off so much stress. It can be very stressful being a person in my situation, always wanting to be at least 15 minutes early for anything. So it's something that I've grown to admire, but I still have trouble with. So the life here is much more slow. Another thing you'll learn if you decide you want to go visit or live in the province is the cost of living. Cost of living in province is much more cheap than the cost of living in Manila. I showed you guys the video of the place I live, and it is small. It's small, but it's good for two people. It's good for a couple. And it's only 4K peso a month, which is less than $80 a month. That's like $70 a month or something like that. In Manila, actually even in Calibo, which isn't a big city, isn't that big of a city. It's a city, but not that big of one. Even in Calibo, we have had trouble finding a place that would end up being that cheap. So the cost of living here is much more cheap. The food is much more cheap. It's cheaper. It's much cheaper. We go to Calibo to get some frozen foods and stuff, and the prices are a little more expensive in Calibo. I'll venture to say that if it's more expensive in Calibo, it's definitely going to be more expensive in Manila, which is, I'm pretty sure, the biggest city in the Philippines. So the cost of living here in province, we might be giving up some stuff, but if you're okay with giving up those things, how much you pay in return, I think pays off. This next thing is a pretty big thing for most people, I think, especially in America. Well, you know, the funny thing is, especially in the Philippines too, because I'm pretty sure I read somewhere, I think it was in my Tagalog classes, that Philippines is known as one of the texting capitals in Southeast Asia. People love to text in the Philippines, love to use Messenger. But cell phone service and Wi-Fi. Now, where I live in the province, in this area, it's not bad. There are times when there's brownouts because of the weather or they're working on the power lines. That hasn't happened in a month, maybe 2 months. And there are times that the cell phone service will completely go out for whatever reason. That doesn't happen very often. It doesn't even happen, especially during this time of the year when there's no typhoons. It doesn't even happen once a month. However, there are areas where there is no cell phone service at all. You will need to have Wi-Fi, and typically Wi-Fi, every place I've been, you can either get Wi-Fi or have cell phone service, so you don't need the Wi-Fi if you're out. Here in the Philippines, we have a thing. They have a thing called, I don't remember what it's called. But basically, you pay 5, 10, 20 peso, depending on how long you want the internet, and you can have internet through their Wi-Fi. I think it reaches a reasonable distance, but it can still be frustrating sometimes. So I can understand people who get frustrated with that. I get frustrated with that. So there is that. The cell phone and Wi-Fi in the province, some parts of the province, it's not easy. It's not easy to get cell phone service, and it can sometimes be a hassle to find and use Wi-Fi. So just be prepared for that. However, that being said, I think that's probably the only semi-bad thing I can really say, because there's also, being in the province, it's small, and so people get to know you. And believe me, if you're different, if you're an outsider, they will know. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, actually. I know for some of us who have anxiety issues, that can sound a little, but ultimately, you'll love it, because once they see you and they know you're not up to anything bad, most people are really friendly. They'll talk to you. They'll help you out. They'll do what they can to make sure that you feel welcome here in the Philippines. So that's probably one of the biggest reasons I don't want to leave the province. I told my fiance when we were talking about moving to Manila, because there's more stuff there. I told her the one thing that I would miss the most is being at a place where there's such a tight-knit community. If everybody knows each other and takes care of each other, that kind of stuff, which is good. And I guess the final thing I'll mention is the transportation in the province life. For the most part, there's no taxis. There's no as they call them grabs here. We would call it basically Uber in America. Most of it is, you don't have your own vehicle, your own motorcycle, or you don't want to walk, you take a tricycle. Tricycles are these little things. For my American friends who don't know, because I'm sure what you think a tricycle is what I used to think of, but it's not. They are very, very, very cheap. We take a 15-minute ride, and it costs us like $6. It gets us 15 to 30-minute ride. I can't remember, but it gets us to a completely different part of the area, and it's like we usually pay 500 peso, which is way more than it has to be, which is like $9. But I think it's more like $5 or $6 US. Ultimately, there's also jeepneys if you need to go farther out, and buses. Jeepneys are a little rough when they keep on stacking the people in. That's hard. I don't like to be touched very much. I feel uncomfortable when people touch me, but it's something I just had to get used to. I've only ridden a jeepney twice. The first time they let me sit in the front seat, so I didn't have to worry about that. The second time I sat in the back, and it was crowded. It was very, very crowded. I could barely handle it. But jeepneys are another one, and buses are also another one. They don't cost that much. I want to say it's like we ride in a bus for about an hour and 30 minutes to go to Calibo, which is one of the smaller cities here, and cost around the same price. It actually costs less, I think, than what we pay for the trike to go to ride for 30 minutes. I think my fiance said it was like 100 or 200 pesos, something like that. $3 to $5, somewhere around there, something like that. But yeah, that's something that you'll have to get used to. But would I recommend it? Absolutely, it's worth it. It's worth it. Those things are fun. They're something that you'll never experience anywhere else, and it's 100% worth it, guys. So yeah, I hope to see you guys in the Philippines. If you have any questions, comments, to leave them down below. Like and subscribe, guys. Helps me a lot. Know that you are valuable and you matter. God bless and peace.